Greetings, owners of fine luxury cardboard rectangles. Welcome to what the ever this is. Is this, am I actually on the screen? I don't know what a podcast is. So yeah.
Whoa. Welcome to Metazoo, be with you, America's favorite TCG podcast. I am, of course, joined by the man who called me last night sobbing while eating cookie dough. Louis George.
True story.
That's actually true.
This is the first time in the history of Metazoo be with you that we have finished a podcast and said, uh-oh, let's refilm the whole thing.
You're welcome. The first take was so bad, I was like, we're not doing this.
Yeah.
So we have a very special Metazoo be with you for two reasons now. First, this is our first ever second take. You're welcome. And secondly, we have an interview with the Magic historian in the second 2/3 of this podcast. And we need to do some disclaimers here. The following people will be offended: Pokemon players, Pokemon collectors, Magic players, Magic collectors. If you've ever heard of the game Flesh and Blood, you will be offended. If you've ever heard of the game Metazoo, come back next week. It'll be fine. Come back next week. We'll have a special episode.
Also, if you think the game's cryptic is called cryptid and you like cryptic, then you'll be offended.
Just come back next week. It's fine. It's fine. He was also some language that maybe we don't use in this podcast, which is fine. He asked us if he was allowed to cuss, and we said, live your truth.
If you watch this podcast with your kids, first off, yeah, that's great.
That's great.
But don't watch the rest of this podcast with your kids. There's a lot of language was fine with us. It doesn't bother us, and we kind of said it doesn't. You know, we think most people are adults watching this, but real talk. If you're gonna be offended about anything, just watch the part where it's George and I. Yep. Because it got crazy.
It got real.
It got real. And I would not say that Hatcher is a super big fan of some of the games that we
anything. Only game he likes is Magic, and he yells at that one the most.
Yeah. So
I loved him.
If you're going to be offended by that stuff, don't watch it. It's not worth it. But here's the thing. This is important. I think it's really great to hear perspective that's completely different than what you hear on the podcast. When you listen to our podcast, you are seeing the perspective of two people who are completely engulfed in the world of Flesh and Blood and Metazoo. George has a life outside of it. I do not. My life is Flesh and Blood and Metazoo.
And Hacker talked to you about that, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. He completely dissed me.
Yeah, that's correct.
And so I think
I believe his exact phrase was he used to call child services on you because what you're doing is so irresponsible, if I remember correctly.
I'm pretty sure he told me my wife was cheating on me at some point. Yeah. Anyway, that's what you're getting in the second 2/3.
Little preview.
And I want to say the idea of this was to bring somebody on that's not in our world. I think that was really great. And so we didn't do a whole lot of arguing with him. No. We just kind of heard his perspective, and people might be offended by that.
Let me be very clear here. We will never argue with a guest.
No.
If I agree with you or I disagree with you, that's not this is not a debate show.
He tried to push back a little bit. Or we tried to push back a little bit, and it didn't work.
No, I mean, listen, this is not a debate show. I'm not going to be oh, you're wrong. I'm interviewing him. Yeah. I don't want to show disrespect to my guest. I would do the same thing if, when James White comes on in 2 weeks. I'm not going to argue with James White. I'm going to be tell me where you think Fab is. Tell me what most excites you about this set.
Yeah.
I'm going to be oh, what about this banning? When he comes on, I'm going to show him the respect that I would show all my guests.
But next week, we are going to do kind of hey, where do we see Flesh and Blood and Metazoo, these new games? What do they need to change and do in order to be successful in this new market where it's the new games aren't pumping? So stay tuned for that next week. This week, we're going to kind of breeze through a couple of different things.
We're going to race. We have a 3-hour interview coming up. So just we're going to race through it.
Yeah.
All right. It's going to be 20 minutes by the time you're done editing. Uprising this week.
I'm not going to edit it that much. I want you to know
I don't believe you. Uprising this week.
We just said all the things that all right. Uprising,
where can they buy?
You can still get, I've got an eighth of my supply left, so it's dwindling. So if you want Uprising and you want to support KitchenTableTCG and my business,
CaptainToMarket.com. If you're a patron, you get a benefit.
Patrons get a discount, and everybody who buys anything on my website gets Cavdane's credits. You get some coins, some gold, some Cavdane credit. And your Cavdane credit is essentially 5% back in store credit on every purchase, which is kind of cool. So go support my life because the Magic Historian says that I'm a failure.
That's
prove him wrong,
true.
everyone. Prove him wrong.
Prove him wrong. Buy his boxes at like barely break even.
No, I'm making money on them. What are you talking about? I'm doing fine.
Do you charge for shipping?
No, but I'm fine. I charge free shipping over $200. You buy a case. It's a great deal for everyone. It's a fair price for the world. Not if you're in the world, because shipping globally is stupid expensive.
Okay. So uprising this week, a couple of shipping delays that we need to talk about.
Yeah.
Very, 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 very clear. Let us start off with this. This is not LSS's fault. There's nothing they can do. The world is delayed. Your favorite TCG just gets the benefit of that. It looks like it's mainly affecting the Northeast and the West Coast. The air freight has arrived. The sea freight has not yet. We are filming this Wednesday morning-ish, so maybe it's there now. We don't know. But like if you ordered from somebody and they're like, oh, it's delayed a week, they might not be lying to you. So just relax, find some zen, and wait. Yeah. It's cardboard. It's fine.
This is where it's really important that the community be like patient and respectful to LGSs. Listen, LGSs are in a rough spot right now too. They just got hammered. We just got hammered with Commander Legends. Like everyone's out of money because of Commander Legends.
And then they're like, want Uprising, Pokemon Go, and Double Masters
at the same time. The same release, the same payment. Like it's been a bear to come up with the money to pay for everything. I know big fat cats like you don't have to worry about it, but
I have to pay my bills too, right? That's the thing.
Yeah, I guess it just doesn't matter to me. I know you're fine. As the Magic Historian said, I'm screwed.
God, he roasted you so bad. He wrecked your life. I loved him.
Yeah, he did. He did roast me pretty bad.
God, that was the best phone call ever last night. Do you think he's right about Pokemon?
I ate 2,000 calories last night in cookie dough. I had a bad night. But
you know what? Red vines.
But you know what? I woke up this morning, and it wasn't all the Historian. There's some other stuff going on in my life, as Jordan knows. We won't share. But I woke up this morning ready to conquer. I woke up this morning ready to conquer the world.
Do you credit the cookie dough with that?
Yeah, I will.
You're like, I have 2,000 calories of cookie dough powering this engine. Let's roll, baby.
Let's go. Let's go on a 20-mile run, baby. Let's do it.
Let me guess. You did not go on a 20-mile run.
No, God, no. I was out of breath pulling the wagon with my 2 kids in it, walking around the neighborhood.
At least you got, and you had the weirdest red vines ever last night.
Wallopy Willy twists. These are delicious. Triple berry.
What's the difference between them and like a Twizzler?
They're like soft licorice and they're berry, but they make you feel horrible. So.
All right, how are they different than Twizzlers? They make you feel terrible.
They're like thicker. Anyway, Uprising.
The Twizzler twists are the best.
A couple of notes about Uprising I think are really important. The delays are causing like singles to actually sell at insane amounts of money.
They're not. It hasn't released yet. It'll come down. Relax.
I know. I'm just warning everyone. I don't think that it's smart to buy an erase face for $41. Now, here's the thing.
I'm in.
If a race face actually ends up being like a $20 to $30 card, I think that's going to be really, really good for the set. You don't think it's going to? I don't either. But if it does, if a race face actually ends up being used, and this is that generic thing. We've been saying that they need more generics in their sets. A race face is the closest thing we've gotten to it, in my opinion. And the Crown of Providence, also very close to it. That I hate that you're just like passively aggressively nodding your head right now.
No, I agree with you.
This is what you've been asking for. You've been asking.
I agree.
For good
I like
generics.
Jeez, God, you need to eat more cookie dough. I like it. I think it's good. I wish there were more generics, but I think it's good.
But I think like
listen. They fixed some of the problems we have been talking about. They increased the legendary pull rate.
Yeah, I still wish I would have done more, but yeah.
I agree, but like, come on,
No,
boo boo.
I'm good,
Let's
I'm
not
good.
fud it up too much.
I'm not fudding it up.
They increased the legendary pull rate.
Yeah.
They added a couple generic. I think I was going to say uncommons. I don't know why.
Today, Junior.
Yeah, I mean, they added some generics. Like they did some things we were talking about. It's good. It's good.
Yeah,
it's a good set. And like, listen, like the fact that people are going to crack boxes for those generics show we've been saying like there's a lot of demand for those generics. They need to just print more of those. Okay. I want to eat some crow here. I think we were wrong last week. I think Icelander is the training wheels hero.
I disagree with you. I get what you're saying. Like it's easy. Like I think it's not the hero you want to teach somebody to play with.
I'm not saying it's how you teach a player. That's called Welcome to Wraith, or the new Classic Battles deck. But that's Blitz, and like only Ken likes Blitz. If we're being
Blitz is a great teaching tool. You're so wrong. Blitz is a great teaching tool. That's what it is, though. It shouldn't be played or competitively.
It should be played for your first game and the game before you die. There should be 2 games, period, in your life of Blitz.
Some people like Blitz. I still think
Ken. That's him. That's the guy. That's the one.
Get into Blitz. I think Blitz would be a much better format if it was best 2 of 3. But we don't even get into it.
Okay, great. So I mean, like it's like this is not how you train a new player. That's not how you teach a game. You teach a game with Welcome to Wraith. That's easy. But like I think it's the training wheels one. I think it's the one that I will play next time I draft.
Okay. My problem with saying that is like it breaks the core mechanics of the game.
Oh,
not that it's a broken hero. It just
stop it.
It breaks it.
That's what heroes do. They have special abilities.
Yeah, I guess.
I'll give literally your entire
I'm not going to fight you on this. I'll go to. I'm tired of fighting you. It's exhausting being your friend. Just always having to argue with you. Because sometimes I feel like you just argue just for the sake of it.
That's like 80% true.
Yeah, like it's like you don't actually. Anyway, no, I think that's fine. I still think Fi is the easiest hero to play, but
nope, but that's okay. You're wrong. So delays.
You're doing a midnight release.
Thursday night, well, Friday night. I guess Thursday night, Friday morning, 12:01 a.m. You get your packs.
That's cool.
I will not be there.
Man, I wish
I will not be there. I will be asleep.
So I won't be there either.
You have an employee. Have your employee do it.
I know, but if I'm going to do it, I want to be there. Like, if I was going to do that, I would have to like stream it. I don't have live stream capabilities yet at the shop. It's like the next list of the things.
What don't you have that you need live stream abilities?
What do you mean? Like I just haven't set it up.
Oh, but you have. I don't have stuff.
I don't have like my dream is to have like a room that's like the table 1 room, and it's always streamed. And then on KitchenTableTCG, like my whatever events at Cavdane's Market are always streamed at table 1. You can go watch. But the shop's not big enough to have like a separate room because it has to be a separate room because you need audio. Like I want you to be able to see the players and hear the audio and stuff like that. But yeah, we're not there yet. Someday. You should do that.
I believe your dream.
Compete esport. You're supposed to have like some esport arena.
I have an esport arena.
Yeah.
Yes. I have like 40 computers.
That's cool. I need to go to your store. It's like
no, I
don't
think
I would get invited by now.
No, you were invited. You told me you were going to be here, and nobody came. It's the Louis DeGeorge story.
Yeah, that's fair.
I know.
I'm holding out for Worlds. I'm going to Worlds. Everybody, I'm going to Worlds. It's going to happen. We're going to produce the best Flesh and Blood content that's ever been produced at Worlds.
There is a 0% chance he's at Worlds.
No, I'm going to Worlds. Me and Team Kitchen Fable, baby. We're going to produce the greatest Flesh and Blood content that's ever been produced. Don't sleep on Team Kitchen Fable and Kitchen Table TCG. Okay? It's going to be great. And we're going to do it without you.
I won't be there, so that's true.
We should do it with you. You should sponsor it.
Tyler, is that you? You gained weight.
Ouch. Boom, boom. Denied. Hold on.
All right, so that's Flesh and Blood. As you eat your cookie dough. Pokemon Go set comes out this week. It's going to be a wild set.
Okay.
Louis all in on the Ditto cards.
Pokemon Go. Let's talk about the Ditto card.
I like how you're stuffing your face with cookie dough in the middle of the podcast.
It was supposed to be a joke, but then you made talk about Pokemon. Now I gotta talk.
Oh God!
Pokemon, the biggest bubble of all.
Did you just wash down your cookie dough with Monster?
Pokemon, according to the Magic Historian, the biggest bubble of all.
That's true.
Listen, the historian roasted me so hard. I'm still recovering.
You have been super on edge since that interview. It's been so good.
I'm still recovering. Mad respect to him though, like mad respect. So, Pokemon Go set. First off, the Ditto card. George, do you know what Ditto is? Do you know who Ditto is?
Yeah, like Ditto's like when you say something back. Like you say something, I say Ditto. That means I agree with you.
Yeah. Okay. Well, the Pokemon Ditto, it does the same thing, but like if you put a Charizard out on the battlefield, and I play Ditto, I can turn into your Charizard. Okay, that's essentially
why doesn't everybody get to play Ditto?
Because then it would just be like Ditto.
What happens? Can you Ditto your Ditto? If you play Ditto,
I don't know. I actually don't know if that's true or not. I should know that, but I don't. So, the Ditto card in the Pokemon Go has a sticker over top of it. So like the Ditto card is the actual card, and then there's a bunch of different stickers that can go over it. Like you can get the Charizard Ditto card. So it's the Charizard sticker over top of the Ditto card, and then in the corner it's got the little Ditto logo, and then you can peel back the Charizard and it's your Ditto card. Freaking so cool. Like,
Pokemon gets it, man. Like, Pokemon gets it.
They just get it. They just get it. Freaking cool. Like, in it's like long term, are those Dittos going to be worth a lot of money because everybody peeled them off and like, you're gonna have.
Oh, if you get one, do not peel it off.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
The problem is like now we know that. When I was a kid, you just ripped everything off.
Yeah, 100%. But like the Charizard Ditto, like that kind of thing, there's going to be a lot of. I think that's going to be a really, really cool thing to collect. I think it's kind of like the subsets that they do, like the trainer gallery. It's like people are going to collect the Ditto version of all the cards and stuff like that. It's going to be really cool. I'm stoked about it. That's Fuego. I know like Celebrations was one thing. This seems like the big set of the year in my opinion. Like last year Celebrations was the big set. This year this Pokemon Go set seems like the money set.
I have no idea what's coming out for Pokemon. I'll be honest.
The next set's weird.
I got my order in. The
next set's a little weird, but this one.
Wait, did I order too much?
No, never. It's Pokemon. What do you mean? Oh wait, sorry. It's a bubble.
God, I love how of all the comments, that's the one that like clearly like haunted you.
Listen, if Pokemon's a bubble, everything's a bubble.
Nobody tell him. Nobody tell him in the comment section. Just let him have that one. Nobody say anything. It's all a pyramid.
Are you saying it's all a bubble?
Nobody tell him in the comment section.
No, Pokemon set looks really cool. Looks really good. I'm doing a thing in my store. If you open a Mewtwo, so the Mewtwo's stupid hard to pull. Somebody was watching 8 hours of Whatnot, which like I don't remember who this is. So if this was you, I'm sorry to.
It's definitely Lauren. It's definitely Lauren.
Who watches 8 hours
Lauren.
of Whatnot? Like,
hi, Lauren. Lauren doesn't listen to the podcast, so she won't know.
Lauren is streaming on Whatnot now.
Lauren's a goat.
So she doesn't have time to watch.
I love Lauren. Lauren's the best.
She's my favorite. Anyway, somebody was watching 8 hours of Pokemon Go streams and they did not pull the Mewtwo. So
is there a Mew in the set or is it just a Mewtwo in the set?
I don't know. I assume there's a Mewtwo. A Mew as well. But the Mewtwo is the like chase alternate art card, and it's really hard to pull. So if you pull one in my store, you get a free box of Astral Radiance.
The gold fat, what's it called? The blobby character never took off. Snorlax. The gold Snorlax never took off like I thought it would.
Yeah.
From that other set.
Yeah, I mean Snorlax just isn't one of those name brand characters.
I like Snorlax.
Yeah. So like Pokemon's weird because people collect just the Pokemon. So like Gengar does really well because like Gengar has some really cool artwork, and like when a new Gengar comes out, that's really good. obviously Charizard, Pikachu, Bulbasaur, like the original ones. If you don't get those like 10, it's just kind of it's not as good. But they got that. They know that.
So it's the battle styles. So new set looks good. Yeah. Everybody's pretty excited about it. They have the ET Beats releasing this week and the premium collections and some other weird collection.
Yeah, it's like there's like the collection boxes are interesting too because they go to the teams from Pokemon Go. So they have Team Mystic, Team Valor, and Team Third Team. I don't know. So you have like if you are that team in Pokemon Go, you'll want that box, which is kind of cool. I think
I've had a lot of people pop in for it.
Yeah, this is gonna be
a lot more than normal.
Yeah, lots of interest. Good stuff.
It's wild to me.
All right, what's next?
Looks like Genesis Origins. Their printing is still ongoing. They say they'll be able to ship close to on time.
Have you seen how many new content creators are popping up for Genesis?
People love it, man.
It's like that's the
Jordan was the first. Jordan knows what's up.
Weren't we before Jordan?
What?
We were not
for Genesis?
No.
Oh, the insult to your fellow content creators. I like it.
I'm not insulting.
Wow.
Wow.
The disrespect.
I'm sorry. I didn't realize the Bone Zone had it first. Yeah. That's cool. No, lots of content creators popping up for Genesis. Super cool.
Listen, I think that content creators now are like, okay, the boom and bust is old. Like all these games go to it's the new Magic, it's the new Pokemon. Then it's like, oh shoot, I have to grow underneath that. And Genesis has started to build underneath that before they create their own thing. Yeah. And I think it's a lot more sustainable.
I think it's better.
Yeah. I think it's better, but I know it's more sustainable. Yeah. I know that Genesis will be here in 3 years.
Right.
99% sure.
And we'll talk about a lot of this stuff next week when we're talking about the new games.
I just think this idea of like the new X, I think like it just hasn't panned out for these games, frankly.
Well, we get into this with the Magic historian about can there be another top 3 or top 4 TCG? We get into this a lot with him. Well, he gets into it a lot with us. But I think next week when we talk about like how these games can continue to grow and do they need to be the next top 4? Does it need to have 100,000 players? Does it need to have, that kind of print run? We can talk about this next time. But
we'll talk about this next week. But I do think it matters like how you set up your company.
Yeah, but here's my point though. Like Genesis getting more content creators is a huge win because they have the Kickstarter boxes that are coming out, and people like to be like to see that stuff in front of them. If you're getting a box of Genesis from your Kickstarter and nobody's making content on the game, it kind of feels like alone. Like it just feels like you're alone.
I often feel alone if it helps any.
Yeah. So I've got a buddy.
Just me and Cookie Monster over here.
Huh?
Just me and Cookie Monster over here. That's you.
Oh, I've got a buddy, a local guy that I need. Like, we used to play board games together, and he would absolutely love Genesis. And I've been trying. No, Robbie's no longer with us.
What happened to Robbie?
Robbie got a job. He's busy all the time.
Wow, Robbie is dead to Louie. Wow, did you guys see that face?
He never replies. It's whatever.
Wow.
But Brian, my buddy,
my new Robbie,
my new Robbie with shorter hair. My buddy Brian would love Genesis. And I texted him. This is like my friends, right? I texted him. I was like, "Hey, you want to get together and try out this new game?" He's like, "Oh, it's my daughter's graduation from college." I was like, "Oh, okay." He's like, "I'll text you when it's over, like next week. Like I'm like moving her back." And then I texted him next week. I was like, "This is the longest graduation ever." He's like, "Oh yeah, sorry, I'm on a trip for business." I was like, "Okay, I'll text you next week." Text me next week. I texted him, so I really want to get him because I think it would be super fun to play.
Remember earlier in this podcast, you said I was exhausted to be friends with. Did you ever think that maybe
what I'm learning is that like maybe my other friends just aren't friends, and this is just what it's like to have a friendship.
I was going somewhere else with this, just so we're clear.
Maybe I'm the problem. Is that
Now we found it. Now we found it. Bingo. And circle gets the square.
So I'm a terrible father, according to Magic Historian. My wife's cheating on me, according to the Magic Historian, and I'm a terrible friend, according to you. This is great. This is my life is going.
This is the best podcast ever.
Hold on, let me.
Hold on, make sure you walk it down with some monster. This is the best.
Oh my gosh.
Okay. Metazoo has a 4th of July promo going on. Send them your photo of your.
What? How are we this bored in content? Like, there's
how's that boring?
I don't know. That one's not that exciting. There's nothing to talk about. Everyone's like waiting for the next sets.
Everybody's waiting for Double Masters. I can't help that it's not out yet. I'm sorry. Okay. I'm sorry. Next week, we'll come out here. We'll tell you about how Double Masters went to $1 trillion. You guys will be like, oh my God, it's back. And then they're going to release a dumpster fire set. The next set, you'll be like, oh God, it's not back.
So like,
we'll like, rinse and repeat.
We're in limbo because we can't really sell UFO yet. So nobody knows what the market's going to do with it. The hypothesis is that because stores aren't able to sell it at less than like the 120-ish, I think is the price point. The hypothesis is that's where boxes are going to stick to. Why are you shaking your head?
Because there's people selling at 85 already.
Yeah, it's going to be wild.
Here is the problem with MAP. And I have had this fight with Fab now for a while too. Like, you guys, like, Everfest is like $65 on TCG Player. I can find it today on websites for $56.
Yeah.
That's what I pay almost.
Right.
Before it went on dumpster fire clearance from the distributor last week.
Right.
Like, all MAP does is mean people won't buy your product in a timely way. If you want to keep your price high, you have to build demand.
Right.
That's how you keep prices high. You can't force the market to accept a price it doesn't want. That's not how economics work. That's true for Fab. That's true for Metazoo. That's true for Magic. Imagine if Magic said...
Question for you. Is it true for My Hero Academia?
I don't want to talk about it. I got yelled at last week. My Hero Academia.
So did I. My prices on TCG Player auto-corrected to the lowest price because that's how and this is a big issue, like for map pricing, because my prices across the board will auto-correct to, like, at the end of the day, correct to the lowest listed price. I had to stop that for Flesh and Blood because I had boxes up and it auto-corrected below map, and then I got in trouble. Like, I didn't set the price. Like, I didn't even think about it. And that happened to My Hero Academia too. I mean, like, and spoiler alert, it still didn't sell, which is
that's
like
the problem. Yeah, you can't force people to buy a product they don't want to buy.
Right.
If you want people to buy your product, you have to make it worth buying.
Yeah.
100%. And why is Everfest $65? Because there's no buyers at 70.
Right.
Why is Everfest $65? Because there's no buyers at MAP. Like this, like people don't want it.
It's all
people don't want it.
It's all supply and demand. That's not that people don't want. Oh, hold on, that's not fair.
It is.
No, it is. Stop it. That's not fair. It's not that people don't want it. It's that the amount of people that want it is less than the amount of supply.
Okay, a comparative number of people don't want it. I apologize.
You have to increase the demand if you're going to increase the print run. And what all these games have done, both of the games have done, is they've increased the supply and the demand has actually gone down. And listen, if you want to take a look at why this is, why would I spend $450 to buy a case of the new Flesh and Blood product, or to buy two of the new, I guess it would be three of the new Metazoo boxes, when I could spend $450 and get a product that people actually want and that the demand is actually there, and buy a CN1 box or a Crucible War First Edition box? Like, that is a much better investment of my money.
And this is the problem. This is true for all of these games. I think all of these games are missing this. Maybe the exception is Asada, actually.
Two exceptions, but continue.
Who's the other one?
We'll talk about you do your little spiel.
If you don't build up demand, and I think you have to build up organic demand, this kind of BS buyout nonsense that these clowns do, like you do with a reserve list, it doesn't work long term. It's a great way for the price to spike and crater.
the fact that you don't understand the reserveless buyouts is amazing to me. It shows you how much you don't care about Magic, to be honest.
I could not care less about Magic.
Yeah, it's like shows you how disconnected you are from Magic reserve list.
I could not care less about the Magic reserve list.
Yeah.
I hope they get rid of it tomorrow.
Yeah.
I just bought some reserve list cards. I bought the most expensive collection ever in my store.
So I think Genesis gets this. I think I agree. Like if you look at their print runs.
Why do I know where this is going? Go ahead.
Where's this going? Is this
going to Legions?
No.
Okay.
Maybe. They haven't shared their print run stuff. They haven't disclosed any of their print run numbers yet. But Cryptic, their wave thing is a really, really great solution to this problem. So they are coming out their retail boxes after the Kickstarter. The Kickstarter was, I think, print to demand. Whoever signed up for the Kickstarter, I think that's the right way to do it. When I kickstart something, I don't kickstart it for my free tendies. I kickstart it because I believe in the game and I want that company to have the money to produce their game. So their second wave that goes out to stores, that's like, it's called Wave 2, I think, because Wave 1 was the Kickstarter wave, right? Their Wave 2 will have unique cards and it will be printed at a way that allows the demand to grow a little bit, but won't whatever. And then they will continue to do additional waves that will add unique cards that aren't specific. They're not cards that are unique to the gameplay. They're just like alt art uniqueness that are different in the waves, which is a really cool way to do it. So they can increase the supply but also keep the demand. I
think Cryptic gets it. I didn't include them only because they're not out yet.
That's fine. Yeah, sure. There's a lot of mistakes that can still happen.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I think I'll give you a preview of next week, I guess. A little sneaky peeky here. So, the sneaky peeky is this. People are like, oh, you focus too much on prices. And I think this is the biggest BS argument I've ever heard. I don't focus on prices because of is it worth more or worth less? It's because it tells you, do people want it? It's an indicator of whether people want it at that price. It will do people take the product. And now we're to the point where Fab has 3 sets above MSRP and Metazoo has 1, maybe 2. This is a sign that the demand isn't where these games think it is.
Right. Which is hard.
Let me be very clear here.
Fair. That's
the
hard.
Sets that are below MSRP in many cases are way below MSRP.
Right. So I think you're seeing this with Fab. What do we see the numbers from Gem this past week? It's grown to.
We saw 15,000 players. We increased about 1,000 new players for pre-release, which is good. But it also means who the heck wants 110,000 boxes if there's 15,000 players?
Right. And was it 15,000 unique Gem IDs or is it 15,000 unique that have a point?
Unique Gem IDs. Increase in 1 point. So people have won a game.
Okay, so there's probably more than that who have actually played because some people who don't you haven't won a game.
I won last week. Thank you.
You just get a buy. That doesn't actually.
I get a point. That would count under Gem.
But there might be more people on that list. So let's say it's 25,000. Let's just say it's 25,000. But
yeah, let's say 150,000.
You also got to include people who don't play in this tournament. You have to include that. You do. You have to include that. So let's call it 35,000 total. That's still but my point here, that's called 35,000. That's still a lot. That's still a lot of people for.
I have a question for you.
Boxes.
Do you write for a New Zealand newspaper? If so, I've read your article and it's amazing.
There are 20,000 professional Flesh and Blood players and 200.
And only 15,000 played at the pre-release this week. I mean, it's
200,000 Flesh and Blood players worldwide.
And I don't say this to be mean. It's just these people try. You got to grow the game, and people don't want to be here for that. That's the hard truth. It's the market wants you to be the next Magic tomorrow, and to my fellow collectors, that's not the way it works. Mm-mm. You're not going to be the new Magic in 5 months, 2 months, 1 month.
To be fair, we learned this. We learned this.
Well, we learned this, but I also think listen, Louis, we're still here.
Bingo. But we were wrong a year ago. Mon to 1K, Mon to 1K, Mon to 1K, Mon to 1K.
In fairness, I did not expect him to produce 1 billion boxes and give 80% of them to one person.
That's fair. Yeah, that's fair. The blame is everywhere, though. We are owning it, is my point. We own it. Listen, we made calls that were wrong. You own that.
I mean, like, mod is not 1K. Mod might never be 1K.
Mod will never be 1K. There's nothing that in 20 years, if the game is still around, mod might be 1K. But listen, like,
I'm coming for you, baby.
I got a Lorwyn box a couple months ago. A Lorwyn Magic the Gathering, one of the most iconic Magic the Gathering sets, a sealed box before anybody ever collected sets. It's like $800.
Yeah.
Like, there is a cap to these boxes. 1K is above the cap.
I don't even think it's that. I just like Louis. It's just like, for me, it's just like, a crew box is now $300.
No, don't say that to me.
300, 350 if you're lucky.
Don't say that to me. A crew box is.
Remember when you were begging whales because it was under 1,000?
Don't make me sad. Listen, like, I'm running out of cookie dough. I don't think a crew box is 300.
I think it's like 350.
I think it's like 4.
I know it's 350.
I think it's like 450.
I like how you FUD every set but crew. Like,
I'm not fudding it.
Your tracker is like Alpha $50, Arcade
That's not what happened.
$25.
I also don't
Crew
have
$10,000. Monarch 20.
I don't have more crew than the other stuff either. Like, that's not what
it's just to prove me wrong.
No, I think I just love it. I just love that set so much.
And like, here's my point.
It feels like
I
home.
think the first 3 sets I think are special.
Well, like, okay.
It's before all the bannings. It's before all these problems.
I think it's also special because the print run was so low.
I don't know, man. Like, if you ever left West Virginia in your flooded basement and came down to see me, something that will never happen, I know that. And I was like, hey, Louie, let's play some Flesh and Blood. What set would you tell me to bring from the store?
WTR.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
And in fact, if you're like, hey, George, bring over some Monarch, I'd be like, are you feeling okay, brother?
I'll come to your store if we can do an alpha draft.
Deal.
You know what? I think your store needs to do some more high-end Flesh and Blood events, like some more like higher-end drafts.
Phil?
I don't know. Like,
you? Did you gain weight, Phil?
Like, God, I'm done. All right, let's move on to the Magic Historian.
Okay, so we're about to move on to Magic Historian.
I've been called fat one too many times. It's time for me to be called a bad father. My wife's cheating on me, and that everything I own is going to zero.
And that you can be called Child Protective Services on you because of your life choices. Yeah. I loved him. All right.
Warning. He says, quote unquote, what state are you in? I need to call Child Protective Services on you for quitting your job to cover this game. It was so funny. I didn't have a comeback. It was so good.
He was so funny.
I just took it on the chin, man.
If you don't have thick skin, come back next week.
Yeah. Thanks for watching.
I'm serious.
Don't watch the rest of this.
I don't want to hear a bunch of whining of, he was mean to my favorite game. I'm warning you now, he's going to be.
And on top of that, he was way more mean to your favorite content creator.
He wasn't mean to me at all, I didn't think. He liked me.
He wasn't mean. He was, and I don't say that to be like he was unfair. It was a fun conversation. There was a lot of digging, a lot of jokes. I think there were jokes. There was.
I'm not so sure. I'm not so sure. But that's okay. I mean, like, here's my point.
As jokes.
You have to have thick skin to watch this. If you don't, just don't watch it. It's fine. Not every piece of content is for you.
And you can just laugh at the jokes, and you can laugh at me getting made fun of. And that's what this is for.
I had a great time.
I think that this is some of the funniest content that we have ever put out. It is also by far the most offensive content. By far the most vulgar content.
By the most graphic.
Yeah, and you
need the eating of body parts.
Yeah, you need to.
If you have kids, listen to Papa George. Come back next week or put in the headphones.
No, don't even put in the headphones because you won't be able to listen to it. If you have kids, don't let them listen to this. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. It's been a lot of fun. May the zoo be with you. Next week, we'll have a little bit more in-depth episode of some of the games. So,
and also with you, I guess. You nailed that, buddy.
For those of you who are staying, enjoy probably the biggest roast of Louis DeGeorge that you will ever see. Hatcher took you to town, buddy. You've been trying to roast me for 2 years.
Yeah.
And he did more roasts.
He like, I've been trying to roast you. That boy filleted you. great.
All right, everyone. May the zoo be with you, and remember to be kind to the people around you.
Now is when you say, and may the zoo be with you, so I can say
And may the zoo be
also
with you.
Okay, and also with you.
What is your average watch time?
For the podcast, it's like 45 minutes.
Oh my God. So you have 4 views and like 3 of those guys hanging hard. Hey dudes, good job hanging in so hard, man. I'm sorry.
If it helps any, he's on another podcast. He gets half as many views as this one.
That's true.
To all you fucking podcast viewers, I'm sorry you're in prison right now listening to this. You got nothing better to do. It's this or just giving up on life. I get it.
All right. Well, Hatcher, you want to give us your intro? Can we steal your intro for the beginning of our video?
What do you mean? You're just going to take it from my channel?
No, no, like right now.
Oh, so instead of just saying, hey, can you say the intro from your channel, you say it in that fucking weird way? Is that what you're asking me? Are you asking me like a parrot to say the thing that I say? Am I supposed to say to you? Are you asking me to greet you guys like I'm starting a video?
Yes.
Yeah, let's roll, baby.
Greetings, owners of fine luxury cardboard rectangles. Welcome to what the fuck ever this is. Am I actually on the screen? I don't know what a podcast is. So
yeah, you're doing great. You're on the screen, baby.
Now,
they can see your beautiful face.
Enjoy a little bit of this, but if not, then I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing here, okay? I don't apparently use my time wisely.
Do you want to buy my hero?
That was beautiful.
I got some.
Can I go now?
That was beautiful.
All right.
That was awesome. Well, welcome to this part of the podcast. We got Hatcher here.
Part of we didn't even talk about how long this was. You were just like, yo, can I do this thing? And I gave you a time frame. Yeah, I'm usually available. I don't know, in like how's 6? And then it's just like, how long is this?
You said you were free from 6 to 9, so we
that is a fucking range for you to pick in. Holy shit! What is this, a sleepover? I mean, I looked at it and went, that's actually what they think. So I freed up the time. But you gotta understand.
We're all in.
That is
3 hours.
No, I will fucking hang up whenever I want. So one click away. Don't even think that I'm locked in, man. I'm just saying. I want it known that I was generous enough to free up that time, but I'm not promising that time.
No,
that's fair. Whenever you're done having a good time, whenever Louis annoys you too much, just click off. It's I understand. I wish I could do it too.
George hangs up on me all the time. It's great.
That's true.
Well, man, Magic Historian, so stoked to have you here. We're going to chat about Magic. You just put out a... What else are we chatting about?
Did you know that part, Mike?
What?
Did you know that you were here to talk about Magic, or no? Is that news to you?
Yeah, actually, here's the thing, dude. I'm 100% ready for that. You think I fuck around? I got a box.
There you go.
I'm ready for everything under the sun. You didn't even know. You didn't even know. That's the real Magic. So yeah, of course I knew. I'm not unprepared. From all the information gathered, the amount of time that would be required and everything that would be needed.
You nailed it. You nailed it, buddy.
Beautiful.
Great job.
Absolutely beautiful. You also put out some incredible videos this week, one of which I think we want to kind of hone in on, which is talking about the Magic market is going to take a complete dump on everyone who owns Magic cards.
And Magic stores.
In Magic stores. And now you've got two owners of Magic, mainly Magic.
One and a half stores. Continue, Louis.
1.5 stores. So what do you say to a store owner? Is there any peace of mind in the next couple weeks? In the next couple months?
I mean, peace of mind, more like rest in peace, bro. I mean, like, unless you have fat stacks of Double Masters 2022, like unless pallets and racks of 2022 are flowing in, then you are holding your dick in the wind. I'm asking you this: would you love to have stacks of Baldur's Gate kicking around? Are people kicking down your door going, "Please, sir, can I buy Baldur's Gate set booster boxes? I've heard they have phenomenal EV of $4. I would like you to stretch me open." Like, I don't understand people who disagree that things like I have never in the entire history of the game, and this isn't fucking exaggeration, this is legit, I have never seen a set printed that has tanked in value and been this much of a guaranteed flop, pretty much, in terms of you're almost guaranteed to get hosed. I mean, the normal metrics, and a lot of people don't seem to understand that the normal metrics of boxes have like a balancing equilibrium where it's not like the singles can go too far outside the range of the price of a box, because if the singles are worth enough, people crack boxes until the single prices move down, right? But if the single prices aren't worth cracking the boxes, and I'm not going to spend the money open the boxes. So you end up with this scenario where like the box value needs to be within a certain range. It's obviously not, yo, we're giving away free money. Buy a $50 box, you get $700. Like you're clicking on an internet scam like ad, right? Like invest $20,
I do that too,
make
just so you know,
$1,000, right?
That's basically what George was doing in his store, where you bought a box and you got a free collector pack.
Yeah, I was giving. I can't move it. Like
a collector's pack of Baldur's Gate.
So I gave them that or a Kamigawa collector's pack.
Yeah, I mean, like, I believe it fully because I've heard from a bunch of LGS owners, and it's the same story in different variations. One is, yo, I literally put it at my cost and liquidated it. I lost, like, I didn't lose money. I lost opportunity cost. Other people are saying, yo, I sent it back to the distributor. I'm taking a hit on the money there. So you've got, like, Baldur's Gate is just eviscerating people, and you have it right before Double Masters 2022. So not only do you have a product that's an absolute dog and was like hosed from the spoiler season angles of it, but then you have the Double Masters coming in to just do the death choke going, oh, were people interested in you? No, I'm sorry, you die now. Like, I'm all the value, you're nothing. So you have this situation where you can go, yo, you can get $5 out of your box. How is that possible? How are people not freaking out at this point? Because Magic is so rooted in finance now. I started when it was all the trade economy, and like LGSs would have some singles, but players themselves were like swap. Now it's money. And so when you get to that point where everybody's about the money and the money tanks like that, that's a big warning sign. This has never happened before, right? Like there's a lot of factors where you could go, maybe it's just some crazy massive outlier, but I think we're moving into ugly town. Like people are going to empty their wallets for 2022, and I'm really sad to say this because this genuinely makes me unhappy. I love Magic, and we're going into Dominaria United and the Brothers War, where we have like old school awesome action in the Brothers War and a tie-in in terms of like, I don't know exactly, is Teferi bringing back Zalfir, all that stuff tossed together. So you've got that, but they're going to get hosed, man. Like seriously, this feels like the point where everybody is going, yo, inflation has both arms up inside me and is stretching as hard as it can. And then like, what are you going to do? I'm the Magic historian, but I am not a wealthy man. I am far from it, to the point where I just got hit with a whole bunch of dental stuff all at once, right? Root canal for me, crowns for my lady, and a crown for me. I had been saving up money all year, selling Magic here and there. Drop by the LGS, you want a couple cards, bro? Yeah, you know you got something you want, that kind of stuff, right? Or go get in your display case, gone like that, right? Kind of thing. So I had a little stack saved up and it felt good. And then the dental stuff showed up and that felt bad. But I said, hey, at least I've got this money and I spent it. But now I'm in the boat where I'm not going to be buying any Magic probably all year, bro. And so if I'm at that point, you know what I mean? There's a bunch of other people there too. The whales are swimming in happiness city. They're still going to be buying stuff. But how much does that support smaller products, right?
I think that is where the stores are, is that, you know, so like, you know, you might not like me after this, Mike. I want you to know it's been great having you on if I lose you here.
I'll just leave now. It's all good.
Okay, good. That was easy. You know, my store's a little bit of a larger store. We get a little bit more product.
I see why I'm supposed to hate. You're flexing. All right.
Yeah, than the average LGS. And then I'll be like, there's two things. A, Baldur's Gate was the first that I ever sold at a loss. I always just put Magic away. It'll always go up eventually.
Yeah.
I usually put it in the back and forget about it. It comes up, I sell it. When it comes back up to the price I want to sell it for. Baldur's Gate's the first set I was like, this is absolutely horrific. We got to dump this today. Like, nobody wants this. And like, the trick is this, like, my store's about to do very well the next couple of weeks because we get a ton of double masters. But like, the problem is that like, most stores aren't in that boat. Mm-hmm. And so like, that's not good for the ecosystem to have a few small number of stores do very well and a vast majority get totally trampled on.
Especially because they already said that they won't be giving like the second wave to stores who didn't take their Commander Legends allocation. So if you didn't take your Commander Legends allocation because you didn't have the capital because none of your people were buying it, now you're not going to get the set that's also going to sell well. Which is great.
They could like the thing about that is they could backtrack on it because they do like money, and they could just go, yeah, we said that, but then at the end, like we'll let you buy some now that everybody's had some. Do you know what I mean? It is Wizards of the Coast, so
I mean, like
the
I
punitive
agree.
nature versus more cash.
I just think Double Masters is going to be such a bidding frenzy, even in the second wave. And the question
it's already insane. Yeah, why wouldn't it? Why wouldn't it?
So who do you guys think it really affects? Do you think it really affects the whales and the consumer, or do you think that it affects the smaller LGSs? Because I don't know a whole lot of consumers who bought into Commander Legends and got hosed on it. I know more stores who got hosed on it.
I think that it affects literally the entire. I think it's everybody, right? Like you can go, yeah, a lot of people didn't buy into this one. That's not good. That's not a sign of, hey, these people didn't get hosed. Wizards made a product they wouldn't even touch. They weren't willing to even get burned on it. That's a bad thing, right? So people don't want to touch it. LGSs of every stripe are getting hosed by this. By the way, you didn't say anything that made me hate you. If you run an LGS and you're successful, that's not a crime, bro. That's fucking fine. People roast LGSs all the time. If you got shitty business practices, that's one thing. But if you do a good job delivering to customers and they're coming for what you want, what the hell's wrong with that? Oh, what just happened to my mic? Hold on.
You're good.
No, it just totally rotated, bro. It was weird. And I could hear it. I could hear it. There we go. There we go. The microphone's tired of me talking. It's like, I know you love the sound of your own voice, bro, but come on. All right. All right. There we go. So, yeah, it's everybody. Anyways.
My theory has been with the way WotC goes. I have two competing theories. I'd love your thoughts on them. First is they want to kill off the small LGSs. Like, the city I'm from, Charleston, South Carolina, we have 7 or 8 LGSs. And like, really, they need 2 or 3. And their goal is to make it so they have 2 or 3 so that it's easier for distribution to distribute and it lowers the cost. They want me because I buy a pallet. They don't want the guy next to me who gets 5 boxes. Their goal is to kill him. Do you think that's a reasonable thought process I have, or no?
No, not at all.
Okay.
No, it doesn't make sense. Why would I want to kill off smaller businesses? You deprioritize them. It happens everywhere. YouTube works the same way. I have 3 different YouTube channels, and I notice it when you go to upload things, the amount of time it takes to upload, process, everything. So the Magic Historian, it gets taken care of faster. And I know because I've tested this with similar videos on them all on the same day, everything, right? Same stats and everything. So you end up with the Historian, upload processes faster. Fantasy Geographic, it's almost 10K. It's decent, but not as good. You move over to the Hatcher channel, I've got less than 3,000 subscribers. That gets less. That's like allocating your bandwidth, right? So I'll be real with you. Wizards isn't going to care that much about distributors anymore because, like, you also don't matter, bro. In terms of LGSs, you matter, but if LGSs don't matter, like, Amazon is your biggest problem. Over time, everybody turns into these selfish monsters where they'll walk into your store and they'll go, yo, check out this shop. Oh, man, look at this game. Check out this game, bro. Oh, Poetry for Neanderthals. Dude, I love this game. This game is dope. I forgot all about this. I always wanted this game. This is so sick, man. Oh, bro, I can get this for 14 cents less online. So, yeah, anyways, what do you want to do this weekend, man? No, I don't want to leave yet. I just want to keep, like, shopping. I really like using places like this for looking at physical product. That you can actually pick it up and check out what it's like. You don't have to worry about returns. Like, no, you don't buy it here. Like, no, save your money. Save your 16 cents. Fuck this place. Let it go out of business. They exist for my convenience. Like, that's the way of the world right now. And the sad truth is, the more people get like that, there's no pushback. It never goes the other fucking direction, bro. Right. You turn into a massive little boutique thing that's for like super niche individuals, and everybody else goes and sucks Amazon balls. So all LGSs are eventually in the gutter, ultimately, over the longest timeline. But the smallest ones are about to start dying now.
I think that's right.
What do you think is Magic's timeline on that? Do you think that's a 5-year or a 10? I mean, what
the thing about like Magic and timelines? I'm gonna be 100% real with you. I thought that the only thing that could really like crush Magic into the ground and really lay it low was something like a worldwide catastrophe, and then it happened. Like one on a level I literally couldn't conceive of happened, and Magic just went gains a clock, and just started pulling in crazy money and just went, money, best year ever, like year after year. And I was just like, nothing can kill Magic. Like, the amount of things it will take to kill Magic, it's a slow deterioration. And the truth about Magic that most people don't understand, especially when they see those big flashy titles that I love with my big moot face, Magic's dying, this is the end, or whatever. It's like, bro, nobody's here to watch the end. Do you know why? Because when Magic dies, nobody fucking cares. Here's when Magic dies. When Wizards go, bro, you want 4 Ancestral Recalls? Give us $6. We'll print you 4 fucking Ancestral Recalls with your name on the bottom. $6, bro. Give us $100. We'll give you 4 of every Magic card ever made. You know what I mean? People would snap that up, but the people who are around would be a fraction of who was left because everybody jammed the fuck out. Magic has tons of money in it, and it will be around for a long time. But individual LGSs, the problem is they're passion projects. That's part of the reason I love LGSs so much, and I hate watching them die, because they're fucking beautiful little butterflies flying on their beautiful little butterfly wings, and these motherfuckers don't know that they're flying straight into the flames, and then their wings catch fire on the edge and like, I can make my bills, I can make my rent, as they drift slowly towards the ground with their sin. I'm like, no, you're incinerating, you beautiful creature. And then I just fucking
describing Louis' life. You're giving Louis PTSD. I want to make sure you know that.
That's how I live my life, right there.
That's like that's great. It's funny. Were you listening to our conversation earlier today between me and Louis? Or like, were you tapping in?
I'm just saying. Like, the thing about me is LGSs are like a second home to me. I grew up like, I don't know, man. I remember I didn't have any money to even like get into the tournaments, and the store owner was a nice guy. He like, for my pride, instead of just letting me in for free, he gave me this like push broom, was like, go sweep the basement. Thinking back, I realized it didn't even need to be swept, but he was basically, you could earn your way in, right? And I had like nothing. And I went and played there for like so many years, so many memories. And LGSs are just like, whenever I go to a new city, I always like look for the LGSs. They're not for everybody. I mean, a lot of people like, nah, son, those places stink. Like the people in there, hose them down. Wash your furniture and your tables. It's disgusting. I saw pictures of an LGS that was incredible. I saw the pictures and I was like, oh, they must run their LGS out of a restaurant or something, because look at that. It looks real nice. Yeah. And then I find it, I'm like, that's your LGS? That's amazing. It doesn't look like a hole in the wall where the carpets are this thick and full of questionable whatever. You know what I mean? Like, LGSs are, the first LGS I went to, you had to know somebody who knew about it because it was in a back alley in like an unmarked door. And so you were just taken down this, like, what felt like as a kid, a secret alley into this place where there's all these crazy cool things, including Magic. In the basement was like the inside of a castle with rough-hewn stone walls. Like, it was amazing. So yeah, dude, I don't know. LGSs are special to me, obviously from my own personal bias and nostalgia, and I hate watching them die. Yeah.
That's rough.
So let me try on another theory on you then here. Let me see if this one holds more water with you. My customers always complain, now they're complaining about double masters prices.
I believe the first part for sure. Your customers always complain.
Yeah, saying it's like, oh, it's so
they
expensive.
have to deal with you.
That's what I was trying to say. I was trying to make sure. I want to make sure that the joke is specifically about you and just not about people in general.
I've heard worse from better. It's all right. They're like, the boxes are so expensive. Like, what are they doing? I said, listen, you guys are buying it. I have a list a mile long of people dying to spend the price I'm charging for double masters. When you guys don't buy a $250, $300 booster box, they'll stop making them. Until then, you're telling them it's okay to charge that. It is that simple.
And the funny thing is explaining, like, you can explain that to them, it still won't change anything. It's never changing. Wizards is never going to go, we could print a set for 2 or 3 times the price, but what we could do is put a bunch of reprints in a set that's only like regular price. That they would bludgeon that guy to death, throw him out the window. Be like, you're done, son. You are done. Kill that man. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Not only have they become more expensive, the booster boxes, and especially the specialty products, but they're also like every 3 weeks. Like, we had a set.
There's a concept of, we didn't even get Infinity, bro. Think about all the shit we had. We didn't get Infinity. I assume you guys obviously are in the loop about the delays they just announced about the Commander decks as well as the Secret Layers.
Yeah.
So it's just like they can't keep up with the amount of stuff they want to make, right? They're just like, bro, we want to milk you guys so hard, we're gonna milk you so good. And it's like, can you please just make the products, bro? Like, I have to admit that Baldur's Gate was epic from the standpoint of it's unlike anything I've ever seen from almost every perspective. Like, the hype season was completely dick punched by full third of the set getting leaked, right? Like, like even before Capenna came out, Baldur's Gate got leaked. And you know what people were saying? And this is hilarious to me. They're like, yo, the Wizards did this on purpose. And I'm like, oh yeah, they did. Yeah, these leaks are on purpose. And I'm like, do you understand the Magic product hype cycle? Like, they're trying to hype Capenna up, this stupid mobster. Yo, don't mention booze in your store or have anything that looks like a drink, but there's booze in the artwork. And it's like, anyways, like, we gotta sell this mobster garbage to people, bro. What's up with this like, we can't be doing this Baldur's Gate shit yet. That's our next hustle. And then Baldur's Gate comes along. Not only does it get gutted like that, but before the set's even out, we're moving into like the immediate hype before pre-release, where motherfuckers like me are getting the boxes and we're going, ooh, look, we got it a little early. But all of a sudden, oops, guess what? Double Masters 2022 comes out of some of the packs, and now it's dominating the conversation every day. It's just Double Masters 2022. So Baldur's Gate stood no chance. It was fascinating in how badly that set got hosed. On, like, if they had made a strong set, though, it still would have been able to stand up. That's the problem. They didn't make a good product, and the hype was murdered for it, so it had nothing.
They could have taken 10 cards from Double Masters and put it into Baldur's Gate. And
I agree. Even 3.
Yeah.
But, you know what? Honestly, go put Jeweled Lotus in every Commander Legends set. Because then, if somebody sees the Commander Legends name, even if they're like, you know, people will just buy one randomly like a lottery ticket. There's people who come in and they'll just buy a box or whatever. But there's people who's like, I'm just going to grab a few packs. And if they know, I see the name Commander Legends, I can get a Jeweled Lotus. I can trade that to anybody. It's the biggest Chases card in the set or whatever. It's not going to hurt it that much to slap it in a few sets. Yes, it will push the price down a bit, but it guarantees you have a name card people know. Then you put in Dockside Imperial Seal, you call it a day. That's enough big juice to get the set actually having a little more legs than praying that those dragons, which they fucked up and didn't put in the set boosters right, and for the first time in Magic's history made draft booster boxes more attractive, which has undone all the work they've done trying to psychologically manipulate us into the set boosters, where they intentionally print more set boosters first and then go, well, guys, we can't deliver draft boosters. I guess you'll just have to deal with set boosters. Good thing we're trying to push those anyways. Oh, look, our sales data. Time says time to change because sales data says set boosters are more popular. Yeah, because that's all you let us sell at first, you dicks, when it was hyped to begin with. You stack the deck and then tell us the results of the stacked deck. Eat my ass. It's so fucking obvious to anybody who's paying attention. But all the people in the game, you got to understand, Magic players have a life cycle of a year and a half for like even the more invested ones, right? So most of them are like, show up, whatever the game is now, that's what the game's always been. Then they're out the door. Dinosaurs like me are just over here yelling in their corner, turning red. Things used to be okay. It's like, take your meds, Grandpa, all right? Shut up over there. Come back when you're here to tell us about how everything's awesome and how much money stuff is worth.
So
let me ask you that. Do you think there's an upper limit?
Do I get to ask questions at some point today?
Yeah, when you're done. When I'm done asking you.
Where's your mute button?
I don't know.
Talking about Grandpa's over in the corner.
Guys. Come on now, ladies. Don't fight over me.
Thank you, Magic. I appreciate that. He's very rude to me sometimes. Do you think there will be an upper limit to what people will pay? Or is it just like, listen, enough good cards are in there, screw it, I'm all in?
There is an upper limit. There has to be. It's not like Wizards can get infinite money, but here is the staggering truth. I couldn't tell you what that upper limit is. Wizards couldn't tell you what that upper limit is. They've made weird-ass products like the Throne of Eldraine Deluxe, get a binder with thorns on it, get a weird 9-card page. Like, everything they make sells. The only time products really fail is when they just hump that dead horse for like an extra year, where they just beat the dead horse and then they get behind it and keep going. Like they did when they went, you know what, the Master sets, like the first Master set came out and it was pretty much one of the best sets ever made, loaded with reprints at an amazing price point, to the point where you could buy a box from an LGS and immediately sell it for more. Now that means there's obviously some room in the market to make some changes. Wizards saw that and went, there's a frenzy around this. And there was, because you could open packs, you would get amazing comments, you would get amazing, like it was an amazing set. It was literally designed to get cards into the hands of modern players. But Wizards saw how well it went and went, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, we left so much money on the table. So you got two things you can do in that situation. You do one of two. You either jack the price or you decrease the amount of value that you put in the set. But Wizards said, no, son. And they double thumbed it. So they went, we're yanking the value. Plus, guess what? This one's more optimized for draft, which is Wizards' basic excuse for all the commons and uncommons will suck. Plus, we get to shove a bunch of jank bag rares on you. We need these reprints in for archetypes in draft, even though these sets aren't really built for that. It's to get reprints in your hand anyways. Eat our ass, right? So Modern Masters 2 comes out. Modern Masters 3 comes out.
A lot of beats going on.
The writing on the wall. These modern singles are fucking tanking into the dirt, and they can't have that because, God forbid, people can get cards at reasonable prices, even when they're paying twice the price and the packs have shit in them. So they go, well, how do we do this? Move into other formats. Oh my God, Eternal Masters. Well, fuck us running. Where else can we go now? You know what? We don't need to tie them to formats. Why don't we make a best of classic set for the last, history of Magic, last 25 years? And they're like, good job, make it. And then they went, you know what? Why don't we split it into two sets? And that's how you got Iconic Masters and Masters 25. And these arrogant cockbags thought that Imperial Recruiter and Mana Drain would be enough to push those sets. So LGS has got left holding their dick with boxes upon boxes of master sets that were such a dog that Wizards of the Coast literally went, yo, we're discontinuing master sets. And you have to understand, when they say they're discontinuing a product, it's because it failed. And then these fucking dickheads took it a step further by taking the unfinished Graveyard Master set, because they said, we're scrapping Masters, but we're going out with a big last cash grab. And they succeeded too. It pisses me off how well they succeeded in fucking deluding people. So they take Graveyard Masters, they reskin it as Ultimate Masters. They make those cheap, shitty box toppers that were the first box toppers ever and were really garbo quality. They dropped the set 3 weeks before Christmas with no hype season, which never fucking happens. And they jacked the price up by 20 to 30%. And when people asked why they jacked the price up, they had the nerve to say, because they're sending the Master Series off in the style it deserves. It was literally like, fuck you. They literally just said, eat our dicks, man. And the Master sets only came back when they had a production delay with Commander Legend and had to be pushed to the other way. Shit, we got to make a set. What? Grab another unfinished Master set, call it Double Masters, put a bunch of shit into it, and then people went monkey shit dumb for it and bought it, and they went, the Master sets are back on the menu, even though everything is a reskinned Master set. When they said they were done with the Master set, what they actually meant was, we're going to still make 3 times the costed sets. What do you think Modern Horizons is? What do you think Modern Horizons 2 is? It's just the Master sets. Well, no, really, it's not reprints now. It's just new stuff we're throwing into Modern. Oops, did we break the format all the time? More money for us? Get fucked. Yeah. Anyways, man, they that was a long ass rant. I may have kind of diverged from the initial point. Great.
You nailed it. You nailed it.
No, that's everything we need. No, that's good. So I was going to ask, when we started this podcast, we were talking a lot about Flesh and Blood and Metazoo and alternative card games. At the beginning of this year, when we saw the release cycle for Magic the Gathering, we said, "Uh-oh, Magic's back." We had last year was kind of a horrible release cycle. You had Crimson Vow that didn't do super good. You had
I wonder why. That's a perfect example of them splitting sets up. They were like, yo, take one Innistrad set, stretch it into 2, and then don't even spend any time writing a story or make the story drove me crazy. Oh, Olivia's going to take the witch and whatever. And it's there's 4 planeswalkers right there. Teferi can control time. That's just a vampire. She can't do anything. No, but she has to lead. Why? Because we got a whole nother set and you got to see her get married. And I'm like, can I just drink bleach? Anyways, go ahead.
So with this year, it was kind of like a shock to us at how much they were. We said 2 things. We said, number one, they're going to be putting out too much product.
Oh that's the name of the game now.
But that doesn't matter because Magic always sells. And we said, number 2, it's going to be it's going to bring excitement back to the game for people. And one thing particular for me was the Brothers War and Dominaria, these 2 sets coming out that just the lore behind it, the you talk about people leaving Magic every year and a half, right? Well, people are going to see Dominaria and be like, oh my gosh, I loved Dominaria when I was involved in it 4 or 5 years ago, and they're going to come back to those sets. What were you most excited for at the beginning of the year, and what has been the biggest change, and then what are you still excited for?
The whole year, I've been excited for the Brothers War, bro. That is the ultimate. Like, I started way back in the day. I've got the Brothers War novel right here. The entire weekend, in fact, has been dedicated to working on a 1 hour, and I mean, I've been working on it before, but this whole weekend was spent working on this 1 hour, the 5th episode of the lore series. So for me, the Brothers War is what I've been most hyped about. I'm most curious about Dominaria United because I want to know if it's going to be, is Dominaria united against the Phyrexian threat? Is it that Teferi has finally found a way to phase his homeland of Zalfir back in after learning how to undo his magic with the help of Ren and Seven, right? So, like, I've got that going on. For me, that was really it. The first part of the year was more, I'm going to try and make it through it because I like traditional swords and sorcery style fantasy the most. So I really don't like mechs. I didn't like when in the middle of the Urza storyline, they decided we're going to put Battletech mechs into the cards. I was like, oh, bad luck. I don't like this. But they did the mechs in Kamigawa. It didn't stick out too much. Kamigawa was okay. I thought like it didn't really feel too jarring. And it seemed like it did a good job of drawing in new people, satisfying older fans of Kamigawa. Like, I would rate Kamigawa as a successful set, even if it wasn't my particular cup of tea, and I didn't find it particularly jarring. New Capenna, however, is pretty jarring. It is very modern-esque. It's not modern our time, but modern comparatively, right? And Wizards was kind of fast and loose with the story because they're like, yeah, whatever. It's a gangster state. Oh, Nicholas is here. Why is he here? I don't know. He wants something. And then what happens? He gets poked in the neck and leaves. Oh, all right then. If that's what you say, you know what I mean? We're going to show this card, like this artwork. Oh, you read the story? Check out this artwork. It shows a moment that literally can't happen. Here's a bunch of other artwork that contradicts what you read. Thanks for paying attention. And I'm like, oh, no. So, like, the reprint sets, I get excited for particular aspects of them. I love to talk about Magic cards, so it's a reason to talk about cards that already exist, so that's cool. And you get things like the gorgeous Richard Kane Ferguson artwork. I love Richard Kane Ferguson. He's like my favorite Magic the Gathering artist. So having like random new artwork from him is awesome. So yeah, ultimately, very long answer. Excited about the last two sets of the year.
Mm-hmm. Do you think that the Magic world will follow suit with that, or is that a Magic historian community thing in itself?
Oh, this is probably good. It's gonna be really bad, probably. No, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Go to an average Magic player and be like, bro, if I say Dominaria to you, how hyped do you get? We're like, what? What does that mean? You know what I mean? Yeah. You're like, oh yeah, well, what if I told you Dominaria is going to be united? Domino's Pizza? What are we talking about? Like,
now we're talking.
You know what I mean? Like, that would be the level where a bunch of people aren't going to care. The people who care about lore are going to care. And the old guard are going to be psyched about the Brothers War, but that could all, depending on a Wizards does it. There's all kinds of crazy theories. People think that they're like, the Brothers War is going to be like, they're going to go back in time and change it, and Mishra's going to be whatever. And I mean, they've got awesome theories. These are really fun theories that really kind of, to me, ignore reality. Because ultimately, I think what's going to happen is Wizards is just going to go, we already have the Brothers War story written, and they're bound to have artwork kicking around they can already just shove into the set. It's way cheaper to use a story you have written than to go, we're doing an alternate timeline and paying a new author and all this other stuff. And now this guy happened. And it's like, but you're not even going to continue that new storyline. Like, that's just going to be the end of it. Right. It's just a one-off. So I think what it is they were trying to hedge their bets where they go, beginning of the year, we're going crazy wild. Like, Kamigawa was never meant to come back. You guys know how it works. If a Magic set fails, that world is dead, right? Like, you're gone. Forget it. So Kamigawa failed, but it was also pretty much designed to fail. Kamigawa was intentionally made as a weak block because Mirrodin was so insanely overpowered that back when Wizards felt like they needed to kind of equalize the power pool instead of just gasoline, they made Kamigawa, and Kamigawa sucked. Because here's the thing. When you make weak garbage, you can't just go, we're going to make a whole block that's weak to balance out that entire block that's too strong. Because it's like, bro, here you go. We're going to give you the hard stuff. And now you got to come down and here's your partying with water. And you're just like, what is this, bro? And it's like, you had too much. You need this water. Like, I don't care about dehydration. And so people are like, I'm walking, I'm leaving. And so everybody just leaves. And Kamigawa it's awful. Like, there's so much weak garbage. Now, there are fan favorites over time through Commander, but Kamigawa's trash. So what does Wizards do? They go, bro, check out that fucking Cybercop 2077, man. That's some hot shit. Everyone's excited about Keanu Reeves. That's the goodness. How do we harness that? You know what? Let's try and get a crossover going. And then they're like, okay, but how? Like, we'll get them for a secret layer, which they ultimately didn't end up doing. This is all speculation, but I feel pretty solid about it. So we're working on doing a secret layer and like a full-on tie-in, but they can't make it happen. Doesn't matter though. They go, take a property we know that people recognize the name of and like, but we have zero chance of ever going back to. So take one of those dead dogs out back and skin it, and we're going to fill it with a robo body. And so they took Cyberpunk 2077, they took Kamigawa's dead body, pulled its skin off, and stretched it over, and Cybercop 2077 Kamigawa edition reporting for duty, right? And then that's how you get stuff like that. Like Kaldheim was basically a new world, but Kaldheim was Kaldheim was supposed to be that. Well, the game isn't coming to me. But you've got, like, it's Strixhaven. Strixhaven was supposed to be Harry Potter until Wizards of the Coast, like, decided that they didn't politically agree with J.K. Rowling and all, whatever. I don't pay that much attention, but that's the kind of stuff. And so they ditched that and then went, it was never going to be a Harry Potter tie-in. I mean, it's just a wizard school that has a prominent sports game and literally has names of characters from the Harry Potter series we accidentally printed on the cards and didn't manage to print properly because we changed the digital files somewhere, but the original ones made it onto the cards. So the cards actually have the name from the guy from Harry Potter, but trust us, it's not him.
Womp womp,
man. Come on, right? Like, they have to lie because they're a corporation and that's what they do to us. But come on.
Right.
That's facts. So you're looking forward to the last two sets here.
Yeah.
Do you think that there's something inherent about the D&D sets that make them all just suck? Or is it
No. I love Dungeons and Dragons. Are you kidding me? Like, Magic the Gathering is swords and sorcery goodness. That's what it's all about. Fuck you, I'm going to set your face on fire. I'm going to summon up a dragon. I'm going to slap a knight on his back. He's going to come cut your ears off, and then the dragon's going to fly away with your ears. Like, It's good times. I'm going to traverse the multiverse, setting you on fire. Dungeons and Dragons has all that goodness, man. Dungeons and Dragons has, like, you could make 1,000,000 Magic sets out of D&D. The characters from D&D are so rich. Let me give you an example. Do you know shit about Nine-Fingered Keen from Baldur's Gate?
He's never even heard of any of the words you just said.
Nine-Fingered Keen, all right, I'm going to give you a short version. Nine-Fingered Keen basically abducted as a kid by a one-eyed elf, right? Okay. This elf cuts off her little finger and holds her for ransom kind of deal. She gets ransomed off. She joins the underworld, moves up as a thief, eventually figures out where this fucking dude is, right? He's hanging out at this bar. So she goes and meets him, and she fucks him up. She carves out one of his eye, like his other eye, to blind him. Cuts off all of his fingers except the smallest ones on his pinky, so he can't really do shit. And then she buys the bar. Instead of killing him, she buys the bar that he likes to go to and provides him all the food and drink and whatever else that he wants, knowing he's going to live a very long time. She even provides him free smoke, but has it laced with the yolk of cockatrice eggs, so he has crazy nightmares every night when he goes to sleep. So yeah, that's one fucking card in that set, and nobody knows that shit, bro. How many people are talking about that? I know one place. I know one YouTube channel where you can hear about that. Mine. Do you know what I mean? So there is so much lore.
You can hear on KitchenTableTCG now.
That's not.
You know what? I bet you there are other channels talking about it as well. But who can know all the YouTube channels that exist, really? But that's how I feel, though. I feel like the Dungeons and Dragons sets have so much to offer that Wizards of the Coast is fucking brain damaged doing what they did. Like, you're making throwaway sets like Capenna. Yeah, that makes sense. Oh, The Sopranos, who cares, right? Like, that makes perfect sense. Cyberwang 2044, you get one set out of it. Dungeons and Dragons is infinite. It's infinite. You only need to make a couple hundred cards a set. It's like the deepest well. Like, you could sell people 15 different fucking Elminsters, and I am not exaggerating. This is a property that should be cultivated well. Like, they literally do crossovers with full-on books between them. This is the biggest untapped wasted potential, and D&D sets might be dead because of the way Wizards.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, did they just screw it up?
They might have just murdered it.
Yeah, can the market really hear another one?
Yeah, you got Commander. So I'm getting fucking heated, right, over the D&D shit because I like it frustrates me, bro. I love Magic so much, and people are like, "You hate the game." No, you don't get it. This is passion, man.
Hey, that sounds like me and my channel with Flesh and Blood.
I just want to be good. I want to have a good time with it. So it's like they're.
As Louis takes a sip from his beer, reminiscing on what he's done wrong with his life. I like that. That's good. That's good. He's like,
all right. So tell me, let's transition the conversation. You are
that face. You said that. Let's look on your face for.
Oh, he always has that face. Whenever I do anything,
all right, boo boo. Let's do it.
We're 40 minutes in. I'm curious.
Only 2 hours and 20 minutes to go. Go ahead, Louis.
We talk a lot about alternative card games, Flesh and Blood, Metazoo. We talk about Cryptic. We talk about a lot of these new card games.
Cryptic, Genesis.
Yeah. Do you think that there's a place?
I've never heard of Cryptic.
Yeah,
that's what it sounded like the first time. I legit was just like, "Say that one again," and he said it. I'm like, "All right, I heard something different."
Do you think that there is a place for these games in the market, or do you feel like the market's tried and it's just too much? That Magic can't fail. They have too much, they have too much going on. They've done too much wrong.
How big are you going to expand this question out before I get to answer it?
All right, go ahead, answer.
Thank you.
It's too much. It's too much. I'm starting to lose the fucking thread of it, man. So basically, what you're trying to ask me is, you're asking if smaller card games have a place in the marketplace. Now, the question becomes, are you asking me, can they gain a foothold as big as something like Pokemon, Magic, and Yu-Gi-Oh? Or are you asking me, can they survive as a product?
Now, is there right now we have the big three. Is there a big four? Does that happen?
I mean, if there is going to be a big four, I doubt it's already out there. Because, I mean, if you look at the factors that it takes to make a big game, it's extremely difficult. Magic established the genre. It's literally the progenitor of everything. It is literal magic. You can it's capturing lightning in a bottle. I was there when it started. It's a fucking phenomenon. Do you know what I mean? And there was no internet to spread this game. This game spread when there was no internet. It was legit just, we're going to play this game. We're all fiends for it. It's amazing, right? So you've got that. And Magic had that, and the King of the Hill, I got here first. What are you going to do? I've just been eating, getting big and strong. What are you going to do? My muscles are massive. You know what I mean? I'm on the hill. And then you've got games like Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh, and they make their inroads based on hitting demographics that Magic doesn't the same way, first of all, right? So you have the kiddie angle, where the younger ones who aren't quite their mind's not ready for Magic. They're ready for, my unicorn comes and runs into the gumbo field. They're not ready for,
that's my speed, baby.
Daddy, why'd you set me on fire or whatever, right? It's a different vibe. So you've got that, but mostly you've got television nostalgia, just mass brand appeal, right? Pokemon is Magic and Pokemon. You look at the two. Magic is Magic all on its own. Pokemon has Nintendo Switch games, Pokemon Go. It has everything. Pokemon is a gigantic, sprawling megalith of doom. So it just has to unfurl part of its being into the sphere. And it did a long time ago. And you can't get rid of it now. It's got pretty much almost as gross a moneyed atmosphere as Magic does right now, although some of that is bubble-esque, right? So it's not exactly the same. Magic's the grandfather, let us sit in our leather chairs game, and Pokemon's the...
I want to warn you right now, about 75% of Louis' net worth is in Pokemon, so if you could please be very careful about the bubble and Pokemon talk, he'd appreciate it.
Somebody please don't let my wife know what he just said.
Sell it right now. Why are you here on this right now? You should be selling that shit on the internet.
This doesn't air till Friday. He's got 4 days. He's
Pokemon
fine.
There's nothing under that. It's not like it's a good game. Have you ever seen anybody play it? It's terrible. People buy it for their stupid kids, man. What are you doing? What are you watching, Logan Paul or something? Where do you get your advice from?
Hey, Louis, I have a question. Is there somebody you've constantly tried to get on this podcast? I'm just spitballing here.
Yeah, Hatcher.
Oh, is there anybody else? I remember there's somebody else you constantly bring up every other podcast. I don't remember that person's name.
Oh, why would he bring nobody worthwhile is going to come on this, dude. That's not going to happen. That's it. I'm like the best you're going to get, so live it up. And that's
all we wanted, honestly. That's fine.
This is the height.
This is the pinnacle.
Great. This is it.
I feel just as bad about it as you guys do.
So you don't think there's room for a fourth? You think it's just?
Oh no. You didn't let me finish my long-winded answer. If you don't let me go on for a long time, you won't get your answer. That's how this works. All right. I got to hear my own voice for a certain amount of time before I'm allowed to finish. That's how that works. So there's definitely room for a fourth, but you got to have that star power. That's it. You got to have something that makes you so big you're unavoidable. You are unignorable. And that is exceedingly hard to do. All these motherfuckers right now, flesh and blood, flesh and who? Flesh and what? Do you know what I mean? Metazoo, meta what? That's all that. It's nothing. It's literally nothing. And that's not to insult the games, right? People will take that personally. They'll go, I like flesh and blood. That's fine. You can like things, but if a lot of people don't like them and I tell you that, that's not my fault. Do you know what I mean? Like Metazoo especially has, the thing is when I start to enjoy a game, I start to look at it. I've got an analytical brain and I will overthink things. And so it happened when I got into Keyforge and I started to see the flaws with the game. And Metazoo already has a few really big, I literally wrote down a title for a video I was already planning on making called Metazoo will never succeed because of cards like this. So I already see big problems with the game on top of the fact that there's like a big investment culture. I understand where people are trying, the game already has a reserved list and whatever. Like I've got some big reservations. I haven't really gotten into the game. I've only opened one booster box because the company sent me a couple, right? And like I thought it's funny. Like the whole way I was introduced to Metazoo is a really bad look for a game. When an LGS owner goes to you and says, here are some packs of a game that's terrible. I didn't order this as a product to sell. I gave this to you to make fun of. I'm like, oh, cool, thanks. I'll laugh at whatever this is.
God.
Like, that's how it was introduced to me. So I was like, okay. You know what I mean?
Mike. I just want to say I'm thinking of you, buddy.
What?
Mike owns Metazoo and watches every episode, so you might say hi to him.
Hello. Good. Excellent. Then maybe he'll hear what I have to say, right?
Yeah, he will.
You know,
I promise you he will.
So, I mean, the thing is, I was put in an interesting position where I had the Metazoo packs, and I had them on my wheel over here for the wheel stream the one night where we were just going to crack them. And I had the name and the title. And then when I was doing the stream, Metazoo never came up on the wheel. But the Metazoo YouTube channel came to my stream. And they were like, hey, you got Metazoo. And I'm like, oh, hello. And I'm just like, in my head, I'm like, I guess this is mildly awkward. The only thing I know about your game is somebody I already know runs an LGS said it's terrible and that I should make fun of it. And I was like, oh, well, I mean, I like making fun of things and I'll take these packs because why not, right? So they're like, we should send you out a care package. And I'm like, whatever it was. I'm like, yeah, I mean, if you want to send me out a straight, whatever it is you think I need, a straight jacket after seeing this, you knock yourself out. But I was just like, it's a little bit weird that like I've literally already been predisposed against your game because of other people. I've heard negative things about it having like a reserve list, and shouldn't you establish a game before you worry about I want to be very clear. It's a difficult line to walk to try and establish a new game, right? Because if your game is worthless, you're dead. You are dead. If everyone sees your cards are worth 5 cents, get lost. Why would I touch your game? Like if there's no money in the game, then like there's this insane mentality in the card game market where the games I play have to be worth stuff. Nobody does this with Monopoly. Nobody goes, yo, this Monopoly game I'm buying, bro, it better be worth more later. You know what I mean? Like there better be a good resale value on this Legend of Zelda Monopoly game I'm buying. So it's a particular aspect of card games that I hate, but it exists. And it's inextricable. Wizards of the Coast has done a very good job of baking it into the market, and it has spread to every aspect of it because I feel the same way. If I see a new card game that people are into, I will go and check the price markets and stuff, and that is part of how I judge the health of a game. So if the idea is to put in a reserve list because you're trying to create a baseline of health for your game, I understand that mentality, but I don't see how it could actually work because if you don't have genuine demand, a reserve list is essentially like a waste of time, right? I mean, these are bigger issues that could take a lot of time. And that's not the biggest thing that I found for me with Metazoo. The biggest thing for me was I think that if a game is going to have a real position, you have to have people in stores playing this game, right? Mm-hmm. So to do so, you have to pay attention to the environment that you are creating, okay? And I never thought that I would have a conversation about consent in card games. It's a very odd position to find myself in. I got the booster box that I was sent, and I opened it up, and it actually made me start liking Metazoo quite a bit. Metazoo feels very much like Unmagic at the beginning. Yes. It has an adorable charm to it. And so I went from being like, yo, I was told this game sucked to, why was I told this game sucked? I should have been told this game was wonky, but it's also fucking delightful. I started to read the silly shit. Yo, if there's a snowman nearby, if you're near a forest or whatever, I'm like, okay, this is different. This is fun. Then you get into the ones where it's like, you got to be a guardian to a kid. I don't need an 18-year commitment to get a bonus on a card, right? Like, but I can tolerate that. I think I might actually have the card I was going to do a video on kicking around here. Yeah, here it is. This is the one right here. Cards like this is where you're going to run into a genuine problem with your game, and you should never, ever make cards like this. This is a huge mistake, right? This mad gasser of Mattoon. Now, I'm not talking about the way they did the artwork or whatever. I don't give a shit about any of that aspect. I'm talking about what this card actually represents, right? This isn't banned. Am I correct? This isn't banned in events or anything like that?
I don't think so.
Okay, so I already looked over the Metazoo tournament rules because I wanted to understand what was banned, how things work, right? Where are my notes? So it seems like a lot of thought was put into trying to make sure that the LGS space would be respected, other people would be respected, right? Yeah. But at the same time, by coming to any Metazoo event, you are consenting to have people just rip farts around you. You are consenting to taste the like inner winds of other people's intestines. That's what this card does. There's no ban rule about it. It literally says if you hear people farting, then this card gets a bonus. There is a strategic reason to just, I'm going to eat beans before I go to, there's a bunch of unwashed fuckers who come to these events. Game stores have a funk. Yu-Gi-Oh! Has a fucking rule that says you have to hose your gross body down before you come to our events. And Magic pretty much needs one half the time, right? So if you just wanted it to be played in a place where there's an awful smell, just say it gets a bonus in an LGS. You don't need to tell people because not everybody is going to come to that conclusion. But the type of people who do are going to create a terrible environment because they're going to feel it's justified. They're going to have looked online. They're going to see the rules allow for it. It's a strategic bonus, and you have tournaments for how much money? What was the biggest tournament for this game? I'm sorry, how much? Was it like $100,000? Yeah. Well, I'm sorry. Would you eat beans until you shit your pants for $100,000? How much money? How much money would it take for you to like just blow your insides out trying to win, bro? What happens when this is the whole meta? This is your game. This is professional level play. You can't have it both ways. You can make goofy cards. You can't have this stuff inside the envelope of professional play. Like it's ridiculous. I love the silliness, but it's absurdity. It's total like this is people will do it. It will happen. It's not going to happen everywhere, but I've run tons and tons of tournaments. I've been a tournament organizer for years. I've been to a lot of people who come to like events. They're not the most socially adjusted people. Do you know what I mean? Like
that's me.
So yeah, to me, this like people are gonna go, you're blowing it out of proportion. Wait until some guy's farting in your mouth and then tell me. Or maybe you're saying that I've got a problem because you want me to taste your insides. Well, I don't. It's not worth it. It's too much.
Mine are delicious, first of all. I think the other issue we've heard about Metazoo from like competitive players are that a lot of the promos are very limited and very powerful.
Yeah. I mean, the game is small now. I mean, what are you supposed to do? The power's going to be concentrated somewhere, right?
Yeah, but the promos that are limited to like 350 copies, or like recently there was
are they tournament legal only printings, or are they just alternates?
No,
functionally unique.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah.
And the guy who won the big tournament, Easton, shout out to Easton, big fan of the show. He won and he got to play a birthday card because the competition happened to be held on his birthday.
And the birthday card had it was like a plus 100 damage, whatever it is, if it's your birthday.
That's kind of
I kind of like that.
That's fun. Like I can handle stuff like that. I don't. If it's like it's my birthday, it's like I really love random chaos, and that's actually, admittedly, you have to understand. That's why I got so annoyed by that Gasser card, because it immediately made me go, "Whoa!" I actually wanted to go I'm like, you know what? Maybe if there's a Metazoo thing going on somewhere, I'm gonna go down and check it out. They're at a convention, and then I saw that, and I'm like, I haven't even seen that much of this game, and now I'm like, you know what? I don't know if I want to be around the people playing
come down to Charleston. I'll tell them not to fart near you, and then that'll be fine. I'll make the no farts around Mike rule. I got your back.
Like, dude, I get the comedic values of farts. They're fucking funny, but it's not funny when you're like living in somebody's. You know what I mean? There's a huge difference. There's a huge difference.
So as you know, Louis and I
know you got to do damage control because you do a lot of Metazoo here, but I ain't for this.
No, we're fine. We're men of peace and zen here.
Yeah, just come and hate on me. You can come hate on me on my channel. It's fine.
We get
so like, I think it's been weird as somebody who follows both Fab and Zoo, because I think they both are appealing to the opposite of what they could appeal to. I think Fab could do a much better job of creating casual play. Of creating casual play. And I think Metazoo has gone so hard into competitive play that they've kind of missed the casual play as well.
Right.
And I think that, and I've thought about this a lot. Like, I think Mike is using the tournament, the Metazoo Mike is using the tournament to lure people into playing Metazoo.
That's what you should do.
I think that's true, but I think it's a good game. I think it's a good enough game where you don't need to do that.
It's advertising. You're giving people prizes and showing that people are willing to play the game, rather than going, no, we need to do it in a way people can't see. What are you talking about?
Well, one of the big problems,
you know what I mean?
is that
I don't see it that way.
Is that you're trying to sticker shock people with a event, and then there's not another sticker shocked event until another year or 8 months down the road. And so if you take your $125,000 and you spread it out into 10 events, then you get a little bit.
I think so.
I understand what you're saying. You're saying like you can get a longer lifespan out of it if you go smaller. But how many eyes can you attract in the first place? If somebody goes, "Hey, there's a $5,000 Magic tournament," how many heads do you turn?
That's true.
How many heads do you turn? Then, hey, there's a $500,000 Magic tournament. How many heads do you turn?
Yeah.
Right. So you can go, you could make 20 tournaments nobody cares about with that $100,000. Oh, okay. Like that's
so the next tournament's $1 million.
If you're small, go big. Go big.
Yeah.
Go big.
Like, the next tournament's $1.25 million for Metazoo. Yes.
And this is legal?
You're going to be farting a lot, aren't you?
I guess I might be.
You might be eating some beans on the way into the tournament.
I'm going to go have to talk to the doctor about what the best way to change my internal biome to get ready for the event.
He wouldn't go sit in a bunch of farts for $125,000.
I will put $1 million. Will melt people with mine for $1 million.
I like it.
So you're not buying any of these current games are going to become the big four.
No. There's nothing like story.
Emphatically.
What's there? I can't see what. Like, seriously, give me one actual fucking not Hope and Fairy and like Rainbow Dreams. Give me one actual way. One way for real. Have you
though? So have you played? Wait, hold on. Let me answer, George. Shut up. Have you played Flesh and Blood?
God,
no, it's not a good sign, is it?
No, I'm just curious.
No, I'm saying that's not. Have I played Flesh and Blood? No. Have I seen anybody play it? No. Have I seen it in a store anywhere? No.
Wow.
No. Metazoo, only seen it once when it's handed to me as a joke. All right? And I don't live in a fucking hamlet, bro. Gosh. There's over 100,000 people in 3 game stores in the city.
This is crazy to me because George and I live in the Flesh and Blood and Metazoo world. That's where we live. Like,
there's nobody, there'd be nothing to you. It's a fucking desert. It's a desert. Get fucked, man.
Oh,
it's like Magic, Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh, or like die in the desert. That's it, bro. If you think anything else is doing anything around these parts, no.
Interesting. Wow.
You should honestly, I'm going to tell you this right now. I'm going to tell you 2 truths. 1, you can definitely make money selling Flesh and Blood, Metazoo, all this stuff, and have a good time. 2, You're never going to get fucking rich from it. They're never going to be big. So don't fucking bank on it. You're throwing your money away. It's a fool's errand. It's not a smart move. You can fucking wish to high heavens all you want, bro. And you can take the rainbow promises of people making the stuff going, I guarantee you. I mean, if you want, I can print cards and go, bro, here you go, man. I guarantee you this shit. I promise you, man. I fucking reserved all these cards. I reserved every box for you, dude. Everything in these boxes is reserved list. $1 million. You can have the entire print run, and I'll disclose the print run too.
This is the best thing
market
I've ever seen. Louis' life just flashed before his eyes.
Pokemon's a bubble. Flesh and Blood and Metazoo are dead. Like,
hey, Louis,
is that you? Is that? Oh my god, dude! Do you have a mortgage on your home? Please tell me you don't have people who depend on you.
If it helps any, his house is mostly flooded, so it's mostly underwater. If that helps,
doesn't help. It's not going to decrease the value of the product.
It doesn't have
floating down there.
It doesn't have a. It doesn't have a kitchen either, for the record.
No.
Good lord.
Yeah. He's doing great. He's doing great.
Come on, man.
George, what's your storage number one event?
In flesh and blood boxes.
What do you mean?
What's your storage number one event?
I don't know.
Flesh and Blood, right?
Yeah.
Isn't it Flesh and Blood? Yeah.
It might be Magic now. I'll be honest. You see Flesh and Blood.
It will be. Here's the thing. It'll always eventually be Magic.
Before Bravo, it was definitely Flesh and Blood. After Bravo, Magic might have come back.
You'll get waves. It's just a little spike, though. That's all it is. You're not that now, right? Like,
so, like, let me tell you the story that I can tell myself. Like, first of all, send me your address. I'm going to send you a couple kits for both Flesh and Blood and Metazoo.
Yeah.
On the house.
Yeah, that's that's really nice of you to do that for him with his kitchen fucked up and his basement flooded. Hey, thank you, man. That's nice of him.
Thank you.
That's nice of him. I'm surprised you don't have his address already. It's kind of a dick move waiting until in front of me to do the charity.
He knows better. He'd get something else in the mail.
Yeah, he charges me 10% less than TCG player.
I get it. I'm like a distributor. So like, I mean, like, I think Flesh and Blood is candidly a better game than Magic.
Flesh and Blood has some cool lore. I think the game has potential. I haven't seen it in person, but I did look at some lore and went, oh, this could be neat. But I refuse, like, I don't have money to spend on Magic. So I sure as fucking spending my money on some game that nobody else is playing around me to look at cards in my house. This is cool. Maybe I'll get to use it once. I'm not doing that.
Yeah. Well, that has always been the argument against a new TCG coming out. And I would say I got into Flesh and Blood because they said that they were going to be for the local game store. They said they weren't going to do things that were going to make it hard for the local game store to sell their product and have to compete with the bigger companies and whatever. They haven't moved to Amazon. We've seen issues with Channel Fireball and the other big markets and that kind of thing. But that's what made me fall in love with the idea of the game, was because I believed that they were for the local game store. So like, I think it's hard because we're seeing that in order to be a successful game, you have to sell to more than just the local game store. You have to have these big contracts with these big places too. But that's kind of what I fell in love with, was that idea.
Oh, your dream is dead. Thanks, Mike.
He looked so sad when you said that, man, too. Why did you say that? I looked at him and he was looking off to the side all wistfully. When you fucking edit this, look at the footage. I was looking directly at him. I'm like, oh no, is he going to cry? Bro, it's going to be okay. I'm sorry. I'm sorry the bad man said the bad things. I say hyperbolic things on the internet. I've been wrong before. People tell me in my comment section, you're not going to lose the house. Your wife's not going to leave you. You're still going to be able to sell some of this product for a bit. Like a little, you're going to get 10% of your money back. It's going to be okay.
Most of his videos are market update videos where he prices out Flesh and Blood cards.
Yeah.
They're just market update videos where he's just crying and looking at stuff. Oh, no.
Only for the last
No. It's just
before that, it was great.
No.
Great content. The last 14 months have been a little hard.
All right.
I loved, so in your video where it's all over, it's been fun, boys, with Magic the Gathering, you brought up a really good point about some of these cards that are appearing both in Double Masters and in Secret Layers, because they know this is their last bite at the apple.
Yep.
For these
equity
cards.
Double grab.
I loved that. Can you explain that to our viewers who are foolish enough not to subscribe to your far superior channel?
Basically, the concept is Wizards has like, I don't know if it's like a team of accountants or whatever, but they have people crunching the numbers and they know which reprints are what I like to call steady reprints and which ones are crash reprints. And so with steady reprints, as long as you don't release too many out there, you can just kind of keep reprinting them over and over and over and going back to the well, right? And there's certain cards that have risen up in value over time based purely on scarcity. So it's a desirable card, but it's nowhere near as desirable as the price tag, right? So Concordant Crossroads is the current example of that. They only printed it like in Legends and then in Chronicles, which was right at the beginning of the 90s, and then they never reprinted it. It's not the best card. It gives everybody's creatures haste. It's not even just your guys, right? But super hard to get. People want it. So Wizards goes, yo, we're going to reprint this in a secret layer. But they know as soon as they print Concordant Crossroads, there isn't nearly enough demand to really justify the price tag that's created by the scarcity there. So what's going to happen is as soon as one enters the market, then it's going to tank the price no matter what. And the price is going to tank for a long time. Concordant Crossroads will not recover because it's not going to have a lot of organic demand over a long timeline. It will have a regular amount of organic demand. So they know they can't go reprint Concordant Crossroads a year from now or 2 years from now, reprint Concordant Crossroads. You've seen them. Yo, they brought the Eldrazi back again. This is how many times they've been printed? They can keep doing that. But they can't do it with Concordant Crossroads. So they go, yo, put it in the June Super Drop, get people hyped for it, get them locked in, also slap it in double masters. So after they've locked in their secret layer orders and decided they wanted it, we're also selling it here. So we're just dumping as much as we can on the market at the highest price possible, because once it craters, it's never coming back. So that's the kind of stuff they've done.
I thought that was a really brilliant analysis. I'll be honest. That, like, I was watching the video, I was like, oh, that's like, hey, that's really smart of them to do, and really smart of you to pick up on that.
It's gross and clever, and that's part of what makes it frustrating as well. Like, honestly, underlying it all, I would love to just spend all my time enjoying Magic and having a good time, right? But I pay attention, and I've been here since the beginning. So I see the stuff they say, and I just start going, you know, and I'm just like, I can't just be, hey, everything's happy, rainbow sunshine. And it's just like, these fuck. So I got to like get it out of my system and go, yo, here's what I see. And then funnily, some people go, all you do is say negative stuff. I'm like, I make lots of fun stuff too, but you don't watch it. You only come by when I'm yelling.
Yeah. I run into that problem too, at a much smaller scale.
Everybody does it. That's the nature of humankind, right? I
think the story for both is pretty clear. I've always said a road to the top 4 is very hard. For Fab, it's easy, right? The gameplay has to be far superior, and you have to attract Magic players. I think like Sam Black.
Enough.
No, say it again.
Having better gameplay isn't enough. Force of Will had a better system and stuck around for 6 years, and it'll never do it. Like, there's nothing out there. Sorry, guys. Flesh and Blood, never get there. Metazoo, never get there. None of them. You have to have something special to start with. You can't climb out of the pit. You can't. It's not possible. It's not possible. You can't do it. Flesh and Blood, none of those cards they'll never be the top 4. They will never be the top 4. You can't argue. There's no fucking argument. You have to have something.
You're beating a dead horse, and I'm the horse.
This is great. I want you to know, I just agree with you, and I still love it.
Yeah, my screen's down here, but it's him now. He's the one who's I'm fine. Over here. You're sad. Fine. You know the truth, but he's still holding on. The Flesh and Blood can make to the top 4. No.
Well, in his defense, he owns fleshandblood.com, so he's got.
Oh, too invested. That's your guy's problem. See, I'm not invested at all. And so I can see like the writings. No, are you kidding me? You can make money doing it, but stop deluding yourself, because you're not going to make smart choices then, right? Like, if you want to be one of the big 4, you have to walk in as popular as Pokemon. You have to start your card game as popular as Pokemon. That's it. How many people know Flesh and Blood? How many people who don't play card games know Flesh and Blood?
I think that's fair. But like, I mean, conversely, if I went to like a random street corner in Charleston and said, do you know about Magic the Gathering? I don't know how many people would say yes.
That doesn't change anything about this
situation. To be fair, anytime
you can swap Magic into any argument I make about Flesh and Blood and then go, well, they're both the same when they're not. It's a small, tiny little game. It has nothing to make it special other than solid gameplay, which I'm sorry is the bare fucking minimum. That doesn't make a game special. That's what you need to start. with a game. Make a good game to start with. Have a big fucking brand that people know, and you might have a chance.
Yeah.
You might.
Works really well for My Hero Academia.
That, like, even huge names died. Simpsons,
Final
all
Fantasy.
these people tried it. All these people tried it, and they all failed.
There was the Simpsons card game?
Yeah. I had it.
We got to pick that up. We got to pick that up and add it to our
Boy Crazy. Boy Crazy 2.0. Here we go. I think the story from Metazoo is easier, right? I think it is, the show comes out, it's a banger. They come out with a AAA video game. It's great, and it works. And like I've always said,
how much is
like,
he paying you? How much is he paying for this?
That I don't know. And like that's the question, right? Is like, you know, Mike's gonna have to really shell out. And like I think Mike can, I think Mike will. If like
no, I was asking how much are you being paid to believe in it this much? Because wow, dude, your level of faith is incredible. I don't believe Wizards can make a full-on movie, and you think that, like, I don't know this guy, but he is clearly your new Jesus, because you believe that he's going to build a full-on television show. And like, does he have a full-on team and everything? Because you're a full believer, and that's cool. But
I think both games have a path.
I think
both games have a path.
I think both teams have a path. I think those paths are closing quickly.
This sounds like NFT level shit. Like the cards aren't NFTs, but just, you know, the Bored Ape yacht people who are just like, we're gonna turn this into. I'm sure you are. And
oh my God.
Eminem and Snoop.
I want you on every week just to punch Louis in the face. Who the fuck is gonna be on the Metazoo show to make it anything? What's it gonna be about? Check it out, guys. Bigfoot walking by, the farting SS guy. Oh, yeah, okay. But check it out. We have all these other properties that anybody can use because they're all open to the public. We have nothing copyrightable aside from our name. I
think for Metazoo, you need the IP to take off in the next year. You have to have that. Otherwise, it's too late because they already came out with the card game. I agree with what Hatcher you're saying, which is like Pokemon came out.
I'm not trying to be addicted. People love your games. Love your games. I'm honestly ranting at you guys because I know you guys have fucking money, and so I'm just like, my brain's like, get it into your heads.
I don't have money in it. Hatcher, you don't know this. I quit my job for my YouTube channel.
Yo, you're making enough money off YouTube?
I quit my job for my YouTube channel.
You know, his wife has.
Whoa! Hold on, no. When you say after you fucking say you quit your job for your channel, and then I go, you're making enough money to survive. You're supposed to say yes. The answer can't be. Don't worry about the. No, you can't be. No. You can't be like, bro, I fucking quit my job and I for my YouTube channel because I'm heavily invested in fucking Metazoo, Flesh and Blood, and Pokemon. What are you doing?
This is Louis' therapy section. This is amazing.
Look, dude, take it from somebody who fucking dug himself into tens of thousands of dollars. How old are you? In your 30s? You doing your dumb shit in your 30s? I remember in my 20s, I was a moron and I made really bad choices. I spent my 30s digging myself out of a huge financial hole for the dumbest choices.
I quit my job when I was 20.
How do you quit your job when you don't have a fucking kitchen and a flat?
I had a kitchen. I had a kitchen.
Do you have anyone that depends on you?
Yes,
two kids. Did you say kids? Did you say children?
Yeah.
No.
I got two kids.
Where is my fucking one? Give me a pen. Give me what fucking state do you live in? And what is the number for child services? Send me this recording. Holy shit. Are you fucking kidding me? Are you out of you? I didn't know this was going to be a fucking intervention. All right.
This is everything I wanted and then some.
We have to talk about your life choices.
Let's do it. Let's do it right now. We got another hour and a half.
Listen. I was 29 when I quit the job, so now I'm 30. So now I'm cleaning it up in my 30s. That's the point.
Are you making enough money to like? Are you going more in the hole? That's not cleaning it up. He's got it together. You're not doing the same things, right?
No. I would quit my job for this.
Did you see the fucking laugh? That was appropriate. That was appropriate. Are you out of your fucking mind? I can't live like him.
All right, I'm just gonna lose. I'm not arguing.
This is the best interview we've ever done by a mile. This is the best. Can you please come on every week? Get spitballing here.
I don't think my heart could take stressing out for this guy. I'm gonna have to blank out my mind that he exists because tonight I'm gonna be having dinner with people. Don't understand how much I care about people. I'll be having dinner with Carly going, he's gonna be on the streets, Carly. He's not gonna
Basically
listen.
already is, if it helps any.
No, I'd rather live on the streets right now than in my flooding basement. That'd be great.
And flooding kitchen, just so we're clear.
Yeah, and flooding kitchen. No, this is great. I mean,
Oh wow, it's unbelievable. Yeah, this is great, man. Thanks.
I think our time, it's getting awfully close to 9 o'clock. It's 7:30, everyone.
Oh my God, this was amazing.
It was good. It was good.
I had a great time, Louis. I want you to know that, buddy. I just want to make sure that's very crystal clear. All right, before we go, what card? Oh, well, not yet, I guess.
I had no idea. I had no fucking clue.
What card are you most looking forward to in Double Masters?
I really like the artwork on Concordant Crossroads.
Cool.
That one.
I think the Smothering Tithe artwork is my favorite.
It's a solid pick.
Yeah.
want
George
me
has
to
no
see-
clue what either of those cards are because
No clue.
he's never
No idea.
played
He's not
any.
gonna invest in Magic, dude. He's spending his money on the good stuff.
He gets it.
He's
He gets
waiting
it.
for Flesh and Blood to become number one. It's clearly gonna. Have you heard it's got good gameplay?
Wow. That's whatever. If I'm going to send
our
you...
comment section is going to be amazing this week. I can't.
Oh,
wait.
people are gonna be like, do not.
I don't read the comment section, so it's all right. I'm going to send you a Flesh and Blood box and a Metazoo box.
Oh, it was like 2 before. Now it's down to
Send
1.
him
I'll send you a
No, no, it's all
George,
good.
no, George, stop being cheap. Stop. You're just
send
sending
me
him your bags. Send him send him a box of Double Masters. Send him a box of Double Masters.
Here's what I'll do. Here's what I'm going to do for you. I'm going to send you a collector booster of Double Masters with it. I'm literally going to... You can afford it. It's free. I believe in you.
Like,
you're not as broke as Louis. It's all right.
He has
One
a house,
time-
dude. I just have an apartment.
It's all right. So, one time George said that he would give away a box to one of my viewers and they won it, and it was not in the United States, and it took him 6 months to ship it.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm not in the States.
So, I know. No, he knows.
The most important
You forgot
question.
the most important question.
What is your favorite poutine shop, and what do they do different than the other poutine shops near you?
Oh, you know, it's sad that you asked me. There was one place I like to go to for poutine, but I don't even want to say the name of the place because it got sold to some other people who apparently didn't take the garbage out. Like only the Friday night employee would take the garbage out. And so there was like the basement was just full of trash bags to the point where there started to be reviews online where somebody was like, went into the restaurant. It smelled strongly of garbage. And then you expect the review to just end there. But then it talks about how they ordered food. And my brain is like, they ordered food and the food was terrible. And the thing is we ordered once delivery from there after the changeover. And when the food showed up, it was terrible. So I no longer have like a poutine place. It's actually pretty hard to find one that's good.
That's sad.
Yeah, it's disappointing, right?
What's the point of living in Canada then?
I mean, I guess like healthcare, not worrying about getting shot every 4 seconds. Take your pick.
Well, conversely, what are you going to do?
Happy 4th of July, everyone.
We have real currency. Wow.
Get all political, Dan. You can always snip all.
No
this
way.
out.
No, we don't.
That
We
is
don't
the
have-
least
you want. I don't
offensive thing
care.
you've done
You guys-
on this podcast. Let me be very clear here. Like
You
you've
guys
ruined
can cut the
Louis'
footage
life.
to make it sound like I'm yelling about how good Metazoo is and how good the stuff is. I don't care.
No.
I
don't care
assume
about,
you're just going to be like, oh no, we don't want to let the people who normally watch it.
I don't care about anything other than you ruining Louis' life for a half hour. That's all I care about.
We have a very, very firm no editing on this podcast, unless we go too far and then we edit it. But, well, everyone go subscribe to the Magic Historian.
Oh yeah. Yeah, come on over. I'm sure you definitely want to. Did I talk enough shit about the games you love yet for you to want to come on over?
Go share your opinions about Flesh and Blood and Metazoo on
come
his
and tell
channel.
me. I'm sure you'll change my mind. Enjoy what you enjoy. That's what I'm going to say at the end. Enjoy whatever card game you enjoy. I don't care. I want everyone to be happy. Just don't be delusional enough to think your game's going to be up at the top. That's all.
Yeah. Great. All right, that's the end. That was it. So that's where we'll cut.
Look at Louis' face.
That was a blast. It was super fun.
Oh my god.
I mean, I have no future, but that was great.
At least
What are
you
you
get to
talking
realize
about?
in
I
front
just
of all your
saved
fans.
future, bro. I just told you, get out, man. Get out.